Okay, so it is time for part 3 of the ROM hacking series, and it's probably going to be everyone's favorite episode because we are editing the starter deck, the structure decks, and the opponent's decks. And the first thing you're going to need is a brand new program called HXD Hex Editor. We're mostly using it for its great ability to copy and paste. There will be a link to it in the worksheet, or you can just Google HXD Hex Editor, and it should be the first thing that pops up. So let's just go ahead and open our ROM here and look for the .gba file. This has all the memory in the game laid out in 1 byte segments right now. And first we need to figure out where the starter deck is. So let's just go ahead and go to our worksheet and go ahead and grab this first value. You can go to search, go to, and paste it in here. So this is going to take the cursor right here, as you can see. And cards are 2 bytes, so they're going to be 4 digits. So to visualize this better, let's go to View, Byte Group Size by 2. And you can start to see that these 40 slots right here are the 40 slots for the starter deck. So what you're going to need to do is first figure out what you want to replace the starter deck with. And I've already got something put together in Dueling Book. You can use any other sort of deck building program. You just need to be able to export it as a YDK. And after you export it, you need to go find the spot in your computer where it is located. So it will probably look like one of these unknown files. You're going to need to open with and select from a list of apps the Notepad app. And this is going to bring up all of the values for like the password machine codes in this sort of list, and we're going to copy this. We're going to go back to our worksheet, and in our worksheet there will be a link to a deck modification tool. You'll see that there is 2 different formats, one for the starter and opponent decks and one for the structure deck. So since we're doing the true starter deck, just go ahead and paste all those values into here. And as you can see, it's got our names populated for clarity, and it's got all of our card codes already generated. So you can just copy these, take it over here, and don't Control V. You need to Control B for a paste right. Boom. So it's got our 40 card codes modified into the starter deck slots, and we can just save this and reboot the ROM and show you what happened. So boom, we've got our clown control deck fully, with the duplicates here. If you want to look at it, you can read it and look at it in its 1-card form. So that's how you do the starter deck. The opponents are very similar, as you'll see. If we go back to our worksheet, we have 2 locations for Karibo. Just go ahead and grab this top one so you can see what I'm talking about. Go to search, go to, and paste it in here. So you can see it took our cursor right here, and you can see it's got our 4, our 2-byte card codes here, all 40 of them. And as you can see, you see this is A70F, ends at 7013. There is an exact copy. So for some reason, there is 2 copies of every single opponent's decks. I'm pretty sure it only uses the second one. But I'm pretty much in the habit of replacing both of them. The only reason why we'd want to break that up is, let's say we want to have a super big deck, or maybe we want to give Karibo a fusion deck. We could probably cannibalize this next slot, but that might just come up. So let's go ahead and go back to our paste tool, and the opponent's deck codes are the same, so we could just copy this and paste it into Control B into both of these slots. And you're going to notice that also on the worksheet there is a address for the number of cards in the deck. So you can see before every single deck there's going to be this little number right here. That's going to tell you how many cards are in the deck. And 28, this is a hex number. So if you were to convert this to a decimal, this equals 40. So it basically tells the game that, hey, this deck we're looking at has 40 slots. So if you want to add 41 cards to this deck, you need to change this to 29. Or if you want to, remove a card and have 39 cards, you can go like 27. So that's pretty much how editing starter decks works. The same, but just with this extra step. I've also got an example for Des Frog, as it's got a fusion card. So let's just go ahead and go here, show you what that's like, and paste it in here. So you see it took our cursor right here, and this is again a 40 card deck, and you can see this is the 40 cards, and the fusion deck starts by first keying in how many cards it is, and Des Frog only has one fusion card, which is D3S Frog. So this is 01, and then it has the code for D3S Frog. Electrum's going to have like 09, and then it's going to have the 9 cards listed out. So that's pretty much how a fusion deck would look on an opponent. So since we've got Karibo's decks modified, let's just go ahead and save it and reboot our ROM. And we can end our turn, and yeah, that does not look like Karibo's original deck. So yeah, as you can see, the True Star deck and the opponent's decks are pretty straightforward. I'll have all of the addresses of the opponents, and do remember that the opponents are not in order. So we edited Karibo's deck up here. This is not Scapegoat, so the opponents are not in order, so do keep that in mind and refer to the list on the deck modification tool. So now that we've got that done, let's show you how to do the structure deck. So scroll down a little bit, we've got our structure deck values here, and just go ahead and go to this first one, Dragon's Roar, and go to search, go to, and paste it. So this starts the structure deck cards, and all of these structure decks are slammed right next to each other. So these are the cards for Dragon's Roar. You'll notice that it stops around here, and on our worksheet here, you can see that Zombie Madness starts at C8. So 1E5 FAC 8, right? So we know that this is Dragon's Roar, this is Zombie Madness, and so on and so forth. So the tricky part about this is that since they're all slammed together, you have to tell the game where the deck starts and how long to go for. So the pointer tells you the address, the location of where to start. And you can see this is the starting address in a reverse format. And then right before 1C is however many slots. So this is going to be 28 slots. You know, Zombie Madness, this is the reverse format address, 1C slots as well. And it's there for all 6 decks. So the way you do this is you first need to figure out all the decks that you want to modify. So go ahead and go over to our Structure Deck Paste Tool tab. And I'm going to bring this to the side. And for this, it's a little bit jank. We need to go through this YDK file and remove all the duplicates. So I know, bear with me for just a second. And just leave one of every card. And so now we've got these reduced. Go ahead and copy these and paste it below. So you see we've got all the card names showing. In order to get our values, we need to write in the quantity. So visually, I'm just going to use this as a way to tell me how many slots each card needs, or how many of quantity. So we have 3 Blade Rabbit, 1 Cyberjar, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so we've got all of our quantities keyed in here. You'll see now it's generated some card codes for us. And we also need to figure out however many slots. So I typically use this little pattern thing to figure it out, as it's going to start getting a little bit more complicated. And you see, we know that this first deck is 24 slots. So we'd even write this down as like clown control is 24 slots. And you'll start to see this will start to update these other values here. So you'd go and do like that for all 6 decks that you'd want. And you need to make sure that it's under 191 slots, as that's how many slots that the game has dedicated to it. So I've already gone through and done most of the work to catch us up here. And let me just go copy, and then I'll paste it into here. So as you can see, I've got, you know, a sort of elemental deck. We've got a hero deck. We've got a troll pot of greed deck, gravekeeper. Looks like, oh, and the true starter deck at the bottom. So thing we also need to do is key in however many slots each had. So first one has 24. This one has 18, 33, 14, 19. 33, 14, 19, and the last one has 40. So as you can see, we've got all of our slots counted out and written in here, and it's automatically updated and given us some codes. So basically, these two are what you're going to need. So these cards go here. So go ahead and copy this value and take it into our hex editor. Go to there. This is the beginning of all the cards. And go ahead and you want to select both of these rows all the way to the bottom and copy it. Go into here, and you need to do again a paste right. Oh, sorry, not this top row, sorry. Okay, and do a paste right. Okay, so there we go. So we've gotten all those cards overwritten. And as you can see, these are all the modified values, and we even got these zeros padded in there. So now that we've fixed those beginning cards, we need to then update the pointers for all the decks. And this won't come up very often, but you can see if you have a deck that's under 15 slots, it's only going to appear as 1 digit. So something that you can do to, if you have a deck that's 14 or 15 slots, what you can do is paste special values only to get the values in here. You can modify this, and you need to pad it at the beginning so that it's 2 digits. So you see we've got the location, the slots, and the zeros for padding. So what you can do is copy this, and you'd go to the pointer. So 1E5F D54, D54. So you can see the pointer start here, and you can just Control B. You can see we've got all the locations and everything updated. So we've got the cards updated, and we've got the beginnings of the decks and however many to go all updated for it as well, depending on however many slots. So let's go ahead and save this and give our emulator a reboot. So now we can do anything. Let's try the Pot of Greed deck. And it only gave us 9. Guess it's not going to give us 40. So that's pretty interesting. And let's go ahead and check our... this should be the True Starter deck. Boom, we have 2 copies of this. Or, well, I guess we removed our True Starter deck. I believe there's a Gravekeeper's deck here. Perfect. And this should be the Heroes deck, I believe. Perfect. So yeah, you can see we've gotten all the decks updated. And of course, we've got our Clown Control deck in the first slot. So that's pretty much how you do all that. Using the paste tool, you need to just go fill it out and paste in the cards and locations. You know, paste these here and then paste these here. And so yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little lesson. If you have any problems or need any help or anything like that, feel free to let me know. And yeah, if you want to do something quick, you can also just type in, you know, cards here in order to get the value. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Subscribe, let me know what's up, and I'll see y'all soon.